What's up, guys? I'm Jason, aka Captain Nasty, your muscle captain. Welcome to Anchored in Muscle Radio, episode 2. Here we go. Are you glad to be here? Miss Brandi over there, Be Nasty, is trying her best to hold back a giggle. We might get a witch cackle coming in here, and I hope it doesn't peak the audio.
Shut up.
Are you ready to go? Be Nasty.
I think so.
You think so? All of a sudden, she caught some shyness, guys. I'm telling you, it is always a big laugh every time we turn on the camera. And now we're turning on the audio equipment and she has to laugh. Is that like a nervous reaction? You're just shy? I've never known you to be shy. What is this? I mean, I understand I've been recording videos and now audio, I guess, a little bit longer, but I've been playing with it a little bit more. But what is this complete shyness we got going on here?
I don't know.
You do realize you have to speak up, right?
Yeah.
Okay. Let's get underway here with episode 2. Now, guys, as we go along here, we of course are going to evolve with this whole thing. So, of course, this is not scripted. It's just meant to be a conversation with you guys, and of course, Brandi. It's kind of like a round table, I guess you would say. So what do? We got us an outline on the first episode. We got an outline here, number 2.
Right now, the table's kind of rectangled.
The table is rectangle? Oh, my God. Because I said round table? Oh, my goodness. Well, you know what? People are going to enjoy our interactions. But okay, guys, if you tuned in, we appreciate you being here today. We're trying to make this what we want it. And again, we will evolve into, like I said in episode 1, the good thing about this, not having any sponsors, nobody that we answer to, this is completely us. We can really do whatever the hell we want to do with it, whatever our listeners want us to do. So today, guys, we're breaking it up into segments. First segment, we're going to go into a little bit about life. We're going to go into nutrition basics, supplement basics in the hierarchy, the importance of the supplements, training basics, and then we're going to get into our shout outs. Why are you showing me that? You found a piece of dust and now you're going to what are you calling me out because I'm like Mr. Clean Freak or some shit?
No,
you found a little bit of dust?
Ew.
I remember doing that to you at one point.
What?
Doing that same thing. Finding a piece of dust and showing it to you.
Suggesting that you need to dust.
Well, I can. So, let's get into it. Are you ready to go? Are you focused now, Miss Brandi?
I'm never focused.
Okay. Well, you know what? You better get focused because like I said in a live feed on our Facebook group, our transformation group the other day, guys, I understand now Brandi has been injured. She suffered an injury. Well, not even really an injury, just a sudden condition out of nowhere.
I'm an anomaly.
You are. I'm telling you, I should have got the warranty, guys. I should have. You've just been breaking apart ever since we signed those papers. You've just been breaking apart.
I'm a lemon.
Oh, my goodness. You are not a lemon. So anyway, we found out, what was it, back in August that you started hurting.
No, I started hurting in August. In November is whenever.
Okay, you had started hurting.
I got diagnosed with the blood clot.
So you got diagnosed with a blood clot on your spine, and this has been, we were basically like on the operating, ready to go into the operating table. So give them some background because, in our live feed the other day, what I wanted to tell everybody is that you will now be the focus because, we have people right now in that transformation group and, I never have an issue getting the guys to lift weights. But we always have an issue getting the ladies to believe in that they need to lift.
Girls are scared to get bulky.
So, and like I told everybody, last week, people will see your pictures, and we're certainly not saying that those pictures look like you're about to go step on stage or anything, but you look great. You look amazing.
By no means, and I think it was almost to my goal.
Yeah, you were pretty much getting to your own individual goal, but people will see those photos. The ladies will see those photos. And they will say, okay, I want to look like that. But we have a hard time getting them to understand that you got to lift weights. Okay, you have to resistance train. That is not a cardio queen body.
Oh, no.
And that is not, of course, there are 50 million ways to skin a cat. But if you want the best, the fastest results, weight training is going to be a part of it. So anyway, what I had told everybody in that live feed was Brandi now has been cleared. And you will be the focus, your transformation, because And I'm gonna kick it over to you in just a second. But your transformation from where you are now back to where you want to be is going to be our main focus with, videos, training videos. And, we're really going to feature you in your journey. So, let's real quick give them another background on all that shit we went through to get us to here to where you're released to actually finally train like you need to be able to train.
See, back in August, excuse me, I thought I'd pulled like an oblique muscle. Remember?
Yeah.
Anyways, but it kept coming back. Once I thought it was healed up, the pain would come back. And then all of a sudden I started having these massive, like the worst muscle spasms ever. And this was like the beginning of November, I think. The end of September when I started having those really, really bad muscle spasms in my ribs.
Yeah, I'm bad with time.
You do suck with time.
I think it's just a boat thing. Because life goes by.
But anyway, because you'll get off on a tangent. Called you out.
Okay, keep going now. We don't need dead space. Let's go.
I'm so sorry. Anyway, you can fix it. Can't you?
Yes, I can, but I'd rather not have to.
Anyways, so I decided to go to the chiropractor finally. Actually, I'd been before, and she was like, you need to do an MRI. And I was like, no, I don't need an MRI. I'm fine. And she was like, no, this time around, back whenever I started having those muscle spasms, I was like, no, you're going to have an MRI. And they found a spot, which is what we're going to call it for now, on my spinal cord, and it was displacing. No, it wasn't. It was in my spine, but it was displacing my spinal cord. And so, of course, I had to go see a neurosurgeon. Thank God my sister works for a wonderful one, and got
shout out to Dr. Lowe, Beaumont, Texas.
Yeah, Dr. Lowe. He's amazing. I love him. He's funny. And yeah, he showed me a picture of the spot, and they could have been three things. It was either an infection, a blood clot, or God forbid, a tumor. Well,
she kept this part from me, of course, guys. I didn't get to go to all these doctor's visits.
No, me and my sister and my brother. Anyways, and I did tell you
later on.
Yeah, later on. Anyways, yeah, I did later on. Anyways, and so he showed me the pictures of my MRI. I say pictures, the video of the MRI.
Right.
And my spinal cord really and truly looked like an overpass.
Well, of course, since we're basically on the radio, just to give you guys a visual, everybody knows your spinal cord runs up through your vertebrae, correct? And this spot was basically inside that bone, the vertebrae, where the spinal cord runs up through the holes in your vertebrae. This spot was inside of there, causing pressure between the bone and your spinal cord itself.
Yeah, and it was such a sensitive thing that I was told that if there was any tingling or numbness in my leg, that I had to immediately go to the hospital. That's how scary it was. Right.
There was some thought, some possibility that there could be some permanent damage.
Yes.
The potential was there.
Yes. So it was very scary. Anyway, so basically I got scheduled for surgery to go and remove this blood clot, and
I hate doctors, guys.
He did good. I was proud of him.
I don't trust doctors.
No, but he did very good. It's nerve-wracking going to a doctor with him, but that's another story. Anyway, so yeah, I had the IV in me, and the anesthesiologist came in, and Dr. Lowe walked in behind him, and he was like, "You ready to go?" And I was like, "Yeah, let's get this done." He goes, "Hang on." And I'm like, "What?" He's like, "Let's do one more MRI." And so they took me back and did another MRI, and the mass was getting smaller. So he was like, "We're not doing this." So I got like a reprieve at the last damn second. So it ended up really and truly, he identified it as a blood clot. Tumor wouldn't have gotten any smaller. And
but what he found on that MRI was that it was getting smaller now.
That's what I said.
Oh, I did. Okay, I missed that part. I'm sorry. Correct me.
I said it was getting smaller.
Excuse me, girl. Go on.
I am trying to tell my story. Anyways, so far so rudely interrupted. Then he had decided later on, since we had gotten to cancel the surgery, to do an angiogram. And he wanted to do an MRI before the angiogram, and it showed that there was absolutely no blood clot. Nothing was there. Everything was back in place and normal, but I was still having nerve issues from the pressure that blood clot had put on everything. My nerves weren't healing right or as quickly as they should have. But anyway, so recently everything's okay so far. I have to have another MRI in 6 months to make sure that after all this working out that it's not, it doesn't come back. And I have been told by Dr. Lowe that if I feel any kind of pain back there, that to immediately call him. And we are immediately scheduling an angiogram if there's any pain that comes back like it was.
But you were super excited, though. You have been cleared. You had been relegated to 5 to 10 pounds. You know, people need to understand.
I couldn't even walk on the treadmill
for a long time. You couldn't even, for months and months, you were not even allowed to walk on the treadmill. And then finally we got to this process where they, he said, okay, go ahead and you can work out, but keep it to 5 to 10 pounds. And now finally we have a situation where you are released full
after
go.
3 rounds of nerve blocks.
You have been released full go. And, since episode 1, since last week, you have been through now 4 training sessions, full on training sessions. Of course,
and
we have to work
that much strength. That was so exciting.
Right. We have to work you back into it. But, since you are going to be our focus to show people what we can do, and I really want to showcase you to show our ladies what you can do.
But here's the key thing that everybody has to remember. I've gained 20 pounds since August.
Right. And we have a goal.
0.
Guys, we have never actually been let me apologize. Okay. We have never actually been on a real full vacation. Me and you alone.
Not even a honeymoon.
No, not even a real honeymoon, because I work a lot. I have a very understanding wife. I work like crazy. I'm always doing something. I got my hands in something. So we have decided to go to First Phorm Summer Smash. So now that is now a goal thing for you. You want to get back in shape. You want to look a lot better before we get there. We got 2 months to go.
It's not like it's a requirement by them, but in my head, I have to.
I understand. I completely understand. So, why don't you let everybody know, how are you feeling? How has it felt emotionally, mentally, physically to get back in the gym after all this time off? And, let our ladies know, your thoughts on this, because, I really want to show our ladies, number one, what we can do, what they can do. And again, there's 50 million different ways to skin a cat, but, we asked everybody about 2 weeks ago in our transformation group to send us pictures from the internet of somebody that they wanted to look like. Mm-hmm. Every single one of those pictures that came in, the basis, the foundation of those people's exercise, their training program is weight training.
Yep.
So, why don't you just give us a little bit on, how you're feeling being back in the gym mentally, emotionally, physically after 4 rounds in the gym. We did get some video of you. We put up some video of you training in our transformation group.
I think my emotions are all over the page, really. I just don't show it. I mean, I'm excited and super happy that, to be back out there.
Wait a minute. You were literally jumping up and down with glee and clapping on a couple of these sets after you were done.
Well, yeah, because I didn't lose that much strength on those particular things that I was so worried about. I mean, but that's exciting. What's not exciting is having to look in our big, massive mirror, and see, how much I've backslid since August. That's the big depressor. Yes, I'm happy and excited that I get to, get back in shape, and that I haven't lost all that a super amount of strength I have on legs. I think I have on legs. Well,
now context, everybody. She's talking about what she looks like in the mirror. Now, you have to understand that's your opinion, okay? Because
but here's the deal, though, and I'm sure you can relate to this from whenever you had your injury, gave yourself scoliosis.
Yeah.
You look at where you were and so close to one of your goals.
Right. I was actually
see how far you've, lost.
It's disappointing and discouraging.
It is.
It is.
Oh, I just hit the microphone. I'm so sorry. Anyways, and so I kind of feel every emotion, and then watching him play back the videos of me working out. There are some where I'm just like, I want to puke in my mouth.
Well, I mean, I
think it's cool and exciting. Don't get me wrong, but you're your own worst critic and I am
that would be
my own worst critic right now.
Well, I mean, that would be true because, you know, and you brought up a good point. You know, I had a major injury, and, you know, I posted about it this last week. I had a guy come across from a different boat wanting to borrow some paint. And he walks in. Now, imagine me. Now, my whole life I've been working out. I've been lifting weights.
Wait. Hang on. Time out. No. Like, don't ever call the man small, because, like, he'll come home. Baby, do I look small?
Oh, you damn right.
Baby, am I small? And I'm like, no, you're not small.
I think this
I'm
is
not big anymore.
I think this is a man thing.
This person said I was small. Oh my God.
I think this is a man thing.
And it'll go on forever. Do you hear me? So please, if you ever see him, don't call him small.
Hey, now they will. Now they will for sure, just to jack with me. But, you know, understand, guys, that, you know, at my largest, I was 235, 240, which in my mind is really not that big in my world. But a lot of people consider me to be pretty big. So this guy comes over. He wants to get some paint. He wants to borrow some paint. And he walks through the door, and he's like, hey, I know you. I didn't recognize him. And I was like, are you sure? Yeah. I mean, you used to be big. And I'm like, oh, okay.
Now, mind y'all, I immediately get a message from him immediately. Yeah, and he says what happened. I said, oh shit.
And of course I'm thinking, you know, in my mind, I know that I haven't really trained on purpose for size in many, many years, but it's just like what you said. How far do you go? And you don't realize the big difference. You know, when I had that injury, I was 235. My whole goal back then was to try to compete and be as big as I could, you know, to try to start into some kind of amateur bodybuilding competition and do shows. That was my number one goal. That was the goal that I was chasing at that time. Then I had that injury. I literally couldn't really train for about 1.5 to 2 years after that. Well, hell, I even commented, I mean, I met you like 6 months later. And I hadn't been training, I hadn't been eating, and I had lost. I went from 235 down to 196 just in that amount of time because, you know, I do have a fast metabolism. So, you know, my body will start to chew all that up, and I wasn't eating and I wasn't training. So your body starts to cut all that down. So, I understand where you're coming from, but
overall, I'm excited about it.
I just wanted to give some context there, not to argue with you, because I look at you every day and I saw you training. I've got it on film. You're back. You still.
No, I still have, and you heard me. I was excited about seeing my back.
Yeah,
but I've always had a decent back though. Even before I started training, I've always had somewhat of a muscular back. You
still got good tone in the triceps and the arms and the shoulders and your back. You just put on a little bit right around the midsection.
Yeah.
But
it's always my midsection to my upper thighs. That's where
everybody has problem areas.
That's where I gain it.
But
my boobs.
The good thing about that is though, it'll be easy to get that off. So, you know.
Well, no, I'm already, even though it was only 5 to 10 pounds for those few weeks, and I've got my eating more consistent. I don't know what the scale says, and I'm not going to get on the scale. You can hang that shit up.
Brandi is banned from the scale. I
am banned
always.
from the scale. But yeah, I have a history, but that's for another thing. I'm popping my toes. I'm sorry.
Yeah, we're going to have to edit that out because I'm going to hear it on the recording, and everybody's going to be like, "What is that?" Everybody's like, "What is that crazy sound?" I'm nervous.
Anyways, but yeah, my belly to me is not as distended as it was.
You're getting some of those foods out. But you didn't gain this weight over this time from overeating.
No, it was under eating.
Of course. Now, I mean, you got, of course,
2 meals a day.
Now, of course, you got a bit looser with your food choices. You know, you are a Dr. Pepper fiend.
Yeah, but it's not like.
Which bloats you.
But hang on, though. I was still only having one a day.
Well, that's not bad.
There's your cat. See, that's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
I mean, yeah, I had a pizza here and there, but it wasn't like I was gobbling everything awful under the sun. I was really and truly only eating 1 or 2 times a day.
Well, the good thing to illustrate there is that you did gain this weight. I mean, I know you said it episode 1. You want to say it again now? How much weight you gained in this much time? It was a long time.
I've already said it.
Okay.
20 pounds.
So 20 pounds in what? How many months? It was a long time. It was almost a year.
In a whole pregnancy time, 9 months.
9 months. So it took 9 months, but that's 9 months of under eating.
Yes.
And not training.
Yes.
And that's the thing I was trying to illustrate. Now, so, okay, you're back in the gym. You know, what message do you have for our ladies out there who may be you following us about your journey? Because I know you had some conversations on back channels with a couple of people here recently, and I think, you know what, it could have been because we did put out that video of you actually weight training. So what would be your
I'm not
message?
sure that one of them really saw that.
Probably so.
No, not if you only posted it in the group, the private group.
They are in the private group.
She's still in it?
Mm-hmm.
Oh, I didn't realize that. Oh, my bad.
So we won't call anybody out, but
no, of course not.
what message would you have? Now getting back into it.
Oh my gosh! Just get up and do it.
Speaking about eating, I don't know if you guys are picking this up on the recording or not, but
I can hear it.
I've had a shake. I didn't have a whole meal yet, so I mean, my stomach is angry.
It's eating your liver.
My stomach is about to eat my liver. I have to eat some real food. So, guys, I hope that's not distracting. That's that's going to be my message to you. I missed a meal today. I've only had a shake. I have to get meals in.
In fact, if it's noon, I'm missing my meal.
We're still getting off track here. What is your message to the ladies before we move on?
Try it. You're not going to get massive. I promise you, we don't have those kind of testosterone levels. Only guys do.
That is the number one message to get across. If you do not, ladies, if you do not have the testosterone levels of a man,
and I have,
and you don't, I assure you.
And let me throw this out there for those of y'all who don't know, I get BioT pellets. And
it's a massive difference.
It is a huge difference. And I actually get extra testosterone put into my pellets.
But even at that, the difference
y'all saw what I look like.
Right. Even at that, even though you have replacement and you get extra testosterone, even at that, the difference between the level of testosterone that you were getting and a healthy male is a vast difference.
Put it to you this way, the pellet that I get is smaller than a grain of rice.
Right.
It really and truly is. And guys, listen to this though. And I don't know if you know this, but the guys who get their testosterone through the pellets have 3 lines of rows. We're talking rows injected into their butt muscle, whereas I have 1 tiny rice pellet along with my female hormones that could put in there.
Right, but I'm just saying
that's extra. So you're not going to produce the testosterone levels that men have to get that way.
Not to look like a female, literally a female bodybuilder and look manly.
Absolutely
there's no way. I lost my train of thought there. So moving into our nutrition basics, guys. Now look, and we'll get more and more in depth as we pick these topics. Now, look, the one thing going into this, this radio show, this podcast that I want to get across to everybody here, because it is about nutrition. It is about training, supplementation. Today we're just going to cover a few basics here. Basics in nutrition. Now, guys, again, as we said before in episode 1, we are certainly not judging anyone. My meals on an everyday basis, 365 days a year, are not perfect. I'm these air quotations Brandi hates. I'm not a perfect clean eater. Now, if I want to diet, if I want to cut weight, which I normally do about once a year, of course, I will clean up those choices. I will not be eating the fast foods. I will try to get the chips out of my diet. I'm a sucker for fucking Reese's. Fritos corn chips. Fucking Reese's cups that have been put in the freezer or in the refrigerator, and ice cream. But if I want to actively diet, of course, I'm going to clean those choices. That doesn't mean I won't have it at all. Okay. So again, we are not judging anyone. Our message to you is that you can have foods that you enjoy. You just have to learn how your body reacts to each food, how much to have, when to have it, the timing of it. Because if you get all these things, you learn how to do all these things, you can instinctively manipulate all these things and still achieve your goals. So I got here 3 main points. Whole foods. Get processed foods out of your diet. And what I mean by diet, I mean everything that you're eating.
I don't even like the word diet.
I don't like the word diet either, but I mean, okay, you just get
the word
processed.
Diet has a huge stigma on it.
It does. It's painful. But the one thing I want to get across to you guys, get processed foods out of your diet. Boxed dinners, anything that, you can't say anything in a package.
No.
But if it comes in a box, if it comes already
if you can
prepared,
find a better alternative, then go for it.
As as much as you can, the best way to go is to get foods in their 100% natural state or as close to that as possible. Now we're talking about don't be going eat. You know what you guys do. You know, these box Zatarain dinners, box hamburger helper. That is not good.
No. Those
is
are the
exactly
worst.
what we mean. And I'm saying it because it's on the boats a lot.
And watch out. Pay attention to your frozen dinners
the
that are
frozen dinners,
not blasting or, hating on lean cuisine or anything like that. But,
the salt goes up in there. So the sodium goes up. What we're trying to tell you is eat foods. And I know it's difficult. I know it's a pain in the ass. I know it requires a lot more time, a lot more effort to make an actual meal out of it, because, I can eat really boring for months and months and months. But, Brandi's a person who needs more of a, I make fun of her, a gourmet meal.
No. I've been doing good eating yours.
Yeah, you have. But, guys, what we're trying to get across here, when I say whole foods, I mean potatoes as a potato. Your grains like your rice. Okay, if you're just eating rice and add some seasonings to it, it's a lot different than something that comes out of a Zatarain's box. Okay, you need to have these foods as close to their natural state as possible. Lean proteins, lean cuts of beef, chicken, turkey, fish, as close to their natural states as possible. Complex carbohydrates, plant-based foods, which does, of course, include sweet potatoes, rice, brown rice. All these things are whole foods. Your veggies, these are whole foods. Now, when we're talking about processed foods, again, we're talking about things that are coming out of boxes and packages, basically out of convenience, that are already prepared. They're already ready to go.
On the inside rows of the grocery store.
Yeah, if you're going to be doing your shopping, the best shit, the most healthy shit is on the outside borders.
The outside perimeter.
The outside perimeter is where all the healthy shit is. If you sneak off into that maze of aisles, that's where you're going to get the stuff that, you can eat it, but is it conducive to your goal? Is it going to get you towards your goal?
And I've actually incorporated, more whole foods into ours here recently.
Oh, you're talking about our meals at home?
Yeah.
Yeah.
In the evening.
And because
our son calls it diabetic food.
It's just not diabetic food. Well, you picked up that really great, and you can reference that here. You picked up that great cookbook by Emily Frisella.
Oh my God, I love the recipes in there.
What is the actual name of that?
Fresh Farmhouse, I think.
Fresh
Farmhouse to I don't have it.
Well,
in here.
we'll have to put it in the show notes.
I posted it previously.
Yeah, we posted it on Facebook.
And I love it. They're easy. They're actually really, really good. And they're not hard to make. They're not complicated. That's what I like.
Right.
Because I'm not very good in the kitchen.
So, as we're going along with this nutrition basics, now, guys, take everything in context, because there are always, we're talking about very, very basics here. The very basics of everything with your nutrition is calories you take in versus calories that you burn. Whether it be your body at rest, because your body burns calories 24 hours a day, whether you're sleeping or whether you're active. And that's all about energy balance. You have to learn to think about the foods that you're taking in as energy and nutrients. Your body has a maintenance level of calories that it takes for you to survive, that it needs for you to survive. Even if you were just laying in bed 24 hours a day, your body needs that maintenance level calories. Then any activity that if you got guys on deck, you're working out, your body adjusts pretty rapidly to your daily activity, your job. So I know a lot of you are going to want to say, well, I'm really active. Well, no, not, yeah, you might be, but your body adjusts to that really quickly. And that becomes your new rate of burn. Now, keep in mind, if you were taking in more food and calories than what you are burning, you're most likely going to be gaining weight. If you create a deficit, if you are burning more calories than what you were taking in, you're going to lose weight. But of course, as with everything, it does get a little bit more complicated than that. But that is the very basics of it. Calories in versus calories out. Now, you can get more and more deep into this rabbit hole and get more and more advanced, but at its core, at its core, that is what it's all about. Are you taking in the right amount of calories from the right food sources, your proteins, your carbohydrates, and your fats? And how much are you burning? How much is going in versus how much is going out? And if you want to get bigger, you want to burn muscle, you're going to have to take in more than you're putting out, because you have to supply your body with not only enough calories and protein to build muscle. You also have to provide it extra. You have to provide it enough for your daily burn, your daily activity, your workouts, and extra for it to build that muscle that you're trying to build.
Oh, just real quick, the name of that cookbook was the Fresh Farmhouse Kitchen Clean Eating Comfort Food by Emily Frizella.
And you can get it Amazon.
You can get it on her website, fithomeandhealth.com.
Okay, guys. Now, after a quick break here, sorry about that. Of course, I'll edit that out. So we're coming back into nutrition basics here. And what we were talking about is trying your best to get the processed foods out of your diet, out of your nutrition. Brandy's looking at me crazy over here. She doesn't like that word diet. You got to get those processed foods, your deep fried foods. Look, guys, your obvious things, things that you already know. Most people, Brandy, I find that most people, they know the most obvious things. Your fast foods, your boxed dinners, TV dinners, candy, Cokes, Little Debbie's, lots of ice cream, chips, deep fried foods. These are the obvious things that you can have them, but you got to get them down to under 10% of your daily intake if you really, really want to make progress. And like I always tell everybody, there are levels to this shit. If you just want to lose 4 or 5 pounds, 10 pounds, that's a lot different than somebody who's trying to lose 100, 150 pounds. So, you can have foods that you enjoy. You can have whole foods and make them into meals that you enjoy. My recommendation to you is be as consistent with your meals as you possibly can. You need to get these poor choices out of your diet, replace them with good whole foods as much as possible. Lean proteins, lean ground beef, buffalo or bison, chicken, cottage cheese, eggs, lean cuts of pork. We use pork loin all the time. We take the pork loin, put it in our crock pot.
Love the crock pot.
That's right.
Pressure cooker.
Fish, guys, swordfish, salmon, wild caught tuna, shrimp, turkey. I've already said that. Complex carbohydrates, fruits and vegetables, plant matter, rice, potatoes, yams, fruits like strawberries, apples, bananas, melons, oatmeals, even pasta. Now, you can have whole wheat pasta. You can have regular pasta. Again, these things all comes down to the amount that you're taking in and when you are taking them in. And I know that most of us, guys on boats and work offshore, we don't eat a lot of vegetables, especially green vegetables, but you need them. You got to have them for vitamins and minerals. You are laughing over here. What am I saying that's making you laugh?
It's not you. My stomach's gurgling and my chair's kind of squeaking in the background. It's like,
you know what? We'll get it figured out as we go along. Hopefully, I'll be able to cut a lot of that kind of background
to look back
stuff.
At the list on my
You're looking back and forth at the list. So, guys, I want to leave you with some basic recommendations here, since we're trying to talk about nutrition. The most introductory level, the most beginner level, we take every 3 to 4 hours within a 3 to 4 hour window, have a palm-sized portion of protein, a lean protein source, a fist size of a carbohydrate source, and a fist size of a vegetable. And you're over here grinning again. What are you laughing at now? What's going on?
I can't tell.
Oh my goodness.
No, it's the poof method.
Oh my God. Are you over here farting and shit?
No, I said the method and it sounds like
the what method? What is that?
The PFF, palm fist fist.
Okay, I got you. You are thinking about the most weird shit. Palm fist turns into the method.
PFF.
We're going to leave that.
Sound that out.
We're going to leave that plosive in the recording. So every 3 to 4 hours, a palm size of a lean protein, a fist size of a carbohydrate source, complex carbohydrate source, guys, and a fist size of veggies. That is the most beginner, the most basic thing to do. And of course, get these obvious poor choices out of your nutrition. Now, I know a lot of you guys are out there going to say, yeah, but I work 6 hours on, 6 hours off, 5 hours on, 7 hours off. You have to understand that your body works on a 24-hour day basis. Your metabolism is a 24-hour day deal, okay? Now, if you really wanted to, if you were, say, you were about to try to compete, you're trying to cut weight for some type of competition, obviously you don't want to have a big-ass handful of chips and shit, something that's really high in carbohydrate right before you lay down. My best advice to you is never eat carbohydrates by themselves. Always have a protein source to go along with your carbohydrates, because the digestion of the protein will slow down the digestion rate of the carbohydrate, therefore lowering the impact on your blood sugar and insulin. And insulin is a storage hormone. It helps to store those carbohydrates, which are turned into sugar. Basically, we've committed ourselves not to getting too technical, too scientific with the term. So let's just call it sugar. Or you call it glucose.
No, we're going to call it sugar.
You're going to force me to call it sugar every time? Okay, well, keep in mind, guys, you do not want to spike insulin except in a post-workout setting. But just on your day-to-day eating, you do not want to spike blood sugar. You do not want to spike insulin, which is a storage hormone. So if you have overeaten, it's likely then, if you are sedentary, that it will store as fat. Now we can get into, that's a whole nother topic, because that gets into, deep advanced stuff. But just real quick wrap up, because I wanted to leave them with some basics. Once again, guys, every 3 to 4 hours, palm size protein, fist size carbohydrates, and a fist size of veggies. And don't go over there and cracking up laughing about your again. We're trying to give everybody some basics on nutrition.
I know.
What you got to say over there, Miss Laffy Pants?
Fun.
Well, it's supposed to be fun. We want our podcast to be interactive.
So it's the silent fart method.
And here you are. You're supposed to be a producer, and you're supposed to, keep us moving.
Well, yeah, we're on supplements now.
Now we're moving to supplements. Guys, we put it out there. If you want to ask us a question, if you want us to answer a question on this podcast, as always, email us, anchoredinmuscle@gmail.com. We did get a couple of questions coming in through Facebook about supplements. So I just wanted to cover some of the basics here. Basic supplementation. Well, again, basic supplementation. Then we got a second question in about timing, how to use them and when to use them.
Okay, well, first of all,
we're going to talk about the hierarchy.
Yes.
Hierarchy. Are you going to get on me for that big word, the hierarchy? Okay, guys, we're going to be talking about the most basics of the basics and the most important ones. They are not sexy. They are not.
No, especially if you get bad ones.
They are definitely not sexy.
The most important. Quick, what are they? The first two, most important on the bottom of the pyramid.
The most important to you,
There's two of them.
To your body, to your health,
Uno, dos.
to your performance in the gym. Multivitamin and fish oil. Those are not sexy. That is not the ones that everybody wants to hear. It is definitely not, because
those are the most important.
Those are the most important.
We have a pyramid that says so.
Oh my goodness. The pyramid is just a visual representation of the importance level, the hierarchy of supplementation. So guys, I know, look guys, I get it. If you buy a supplement, you spend a lot of money on a supplement, you want to feel it. They want to feel it. That's why that
they don't want to taste it either after they take it.
Yeah. That's why that pre-workouts are the top selling supplement on the market is a pre-workout, because you get that jolt of caffeine.
The stimulants.
You get the niacin in there, You get the niacin, the beta alanine, and all those things. You get the little tinglies in your skin.
I don't do well with the beta alanine.
Some people are highly hypersensitive to supplements,
I will
pre-workouts.
Tingle where you don't want to tingle, and it feels like needles.
But you do realize that it is a good thing.
No, I understand that.
The tingling means it's working.
Yeah, but you know what? Whenever it's
go ahead. I'm waiting to see if you're going to put it out there. Go on ahead. We can make this what we want. I challenge you. Go on, put it out there. I know where you're going with this. Because you never know.
It's like needles.
You never know. There might be some other ladies out there.
Needles poking you in the... all right. I'm going to say it, in the crotch, in the cooter.
In the hoo-ha.
In the hoo-ha.
So now everybody knows.
Where you're like, oh my God, it won't stop. Oh my God, stop.
So now everybody knows that Brandi does not take pre-workout because she is hypersensitive to it. And she feels like she's got tinglies and pins and needles in her hoo-ha.
Everywhere, but whenever it hits the hoo-ha and it hurts.
You just can't take it anymore.
I'm done.
But it actually means it's doing its job.
Okay,
you just happen to be hypersensitive to it.
If it could avoid that area, it would be great.
So anyway, the most important supplements by far is your multivitamin and your fish oil.
And not your Walmart fish oil. I'm sorry, because you will belch.
Are you going to start talking about my experiments now?
Tuna forever. That's later. It's on the list.
That's on a different list. So look, if you want your body, if you want your body to perform right in the gym, if you're trying to lose fat, you're trying to build muscle, you're trying to look good, you're trying to bring your sexy back, you need your multivitamins, your vitamins, minerals, trace elements, and your essential fatty acids. These are the materials that your body requires. Okay, your metabolism. Everybody knows about metabolism. They've heard about either they have a fast metabolism or a slow metabolism. If you want to build muscle, if you want to lose fat, you want to look good, you want to perform good in the gym, your body, your metabolism. What is the definition of metabolism? Every chemical process in your body requires materials. Your multivitamins, your vitamins, minerals, trace elements, essential fatty acids. If you want your body to perform, if you want it to do what it's supposed to do, if you want to speed your metabolism, you have to get these vitamins and minerals. Now, why would you take these? You would take these if you were not getting it through food. In other words, if you're like me, hey, I'm a trainer. I'm a nutrition specialist. I've been doing this shit all my life, learning how to eat. I've been studying all my life, but I'm going to tell you right now, I do not eat enough vegetables, fruits and vegetables.
I don't either.
But
most people don't.
I take my multivitamin religiously. Okay, if you are not getting 4 to 6 servings of vegetables per day, and I don't mean just any, because a lot of people will just eat the same 1 or 2 veggies. But if you're not basically getting a produce section variety 4 to 6 times a day, then you need a multivitamin. You need a high quality multivitamin. Now, everybody here knows that I use First Phorm. First Phorm's multivitamin is amazing. They have gender specific male and female because males and females need different levels of different vitamins and minerals.
Goddess.
The main number one thing, what makes it just the best, is it is a capsulated multivitamin, not a hard pressed pill. Now Brandi's gonna laugh because I've literally done the experiments. I've literally done experiments because see,
Mr. Wizard,
your stomach cannot break down that hard pressed pill. It's like a rock. Not only is it pressed together under a lot of pressure, it has a coating, a preservative coating over it. Now, I've literally taken my multivitamin and brand X, dropped 1 of each in a glass with vinegar, which is pretty close to your stomach acids. My multivitamin broke down, was completely dissolved, capsule and all, within 10 minutes. It took 5 hours for the hard pressed pill vitamin. And that in itself is the key factor. Not to mention the male version, M Factor Hero, also has the right mix of nutrients to support testosterone. Natural, all natural, what your body needs to support natural testosterone production. Full mega fish oil. Now I'm going to tell you, Now, a lot of people are scared off by fish oil. A lot of people are scared off by fish oil.
Well, when you have to take 20 of them a day.
That's right. And that all comes down to quality. And what a lot of people do is they'll buy something from, a big box store. I'm not going to call anybody out. Just the very cheap version. Number one, you're not getting the right amount. Okay.
And that's why you have to take so many.
You're not getting the right potency. And you're also getting, now guys, you know how this is. This is the difference between your Parade and your name brand in a store. Okay. Quality of the raw ingredients that go into making these things. Now, I suggest if you're out there and you're taking a multivitamin, if you're belching the shit out of it, it's giving you crazy heartburn, you're belching nasty fish burps, I challenge you to take what I take, at least give it a try. I take full mega by First Phorm, put it in the freezer. Whatever you have right now, put your fish oil in the freezer. Let it sit overnight. Take it out the next day. If it's got little white clumps that look like snot or little tiny cotton balls in it,
you say that.
If it is cloudy white chunks in it, throw it away. It is rancid. The impurities.
It's not worth it.
The impurities in that will freeze, and the actual oil will not. So these are the experiments that I try here. And now keep in mind, now if you were taking,
walked in the house and he had the biggest, massive bottle of pills with cups everywhere. I was like, what the hell are you doing now?
now if you were taking a fish oil, now keep in mind you need to take that as directed. Okay, now you're giving you your healthy fats, your essential fatty acids. Make sure you're taking it with a meal and have the adequate amount of water. Or it doesn't matter the quality, you're going to have problems. So moving on, most important multivitamin fish oil. Next on that list is, what are you doing post-workout? What is your post-workout recovery supplementation? Everybody, it's widely known out there. You want to take some kind of protein. You want to have protein because you've been breaking muscle tissue down. You want to get back to an anabolic state as quickly as possible. You know what? That would be correct. You should be having a protein. You need to have a fast digesting protein, a whey isolate protein. But that's not all. You really should be having some type of carbohydrate source post-workout with your protein. Now, keep in mind, you've been burning off glycogen, burning off stored sugar inside the muscle while you're going through your workout. Your body always works in order of survival. So your body has to recover energy sources. It has to recover your nervous system. It has to recover the brain first. If you go out there and you take only a protein source, a good amount of that protein is going to be broken down into glucose and used to restock your energy stores. So if you want the fastest recovery, you want a good whey isolate protein and a fast digesting carb source post-workout. Now, again, everybody knows that I use exclusively First Phorm myself, so that means on my post-workout shake is Formula 1 and Ignition. Formula 1 being a 100% hydrolyzed whey isolate protein. Ignition is a dextrose glucose, basically powdered glucose with an added multivitamin complex to restore the expended vitamins during your training. Now, after that, the next on that hierarchy, not least important, but the next level up would be a meal replacement protein shake. If you cannot get in your meals for some reason, if you haven't prepped, if you don't have time to stop and eat, if you don't have a microwave to heat up your meal and you won't eat a cold meal, having a meal replacement protein shake on hand can be the difference. It can make a huge difference in getting results. You would rather any time, any day, have a meal replacement protein shake over missing meals. If you talk to the top pros, I've had top people tell me that they would rather miss a workout than to miss a meal.
And actually, I haven't had to really have that much of a protein shake because my meals have been so consistent.
You've been having whole food is always better. Whole food is
That's
always.
why it's so far up on the list.
That's right.
It's third on the list is because Go ahead. I'm sorry.
Fourth on the list. But whole food is always better except post-workout. And the only reason why the supplement, the fast-digesting protein and carbohydrates is better is post-workout. The only reason it's better is because the speed of digestion. You working out, your weightlifting is very catabolic. It's very stressful. You want to get back to an anabolic state. The difference in the digestion rate of your shake with your hydrolyzed whey isolate protein and your fast digesting carb source and whole food, it takes whole food about 3 to 4 hours to fully digest and get, up the uptake into the bloodstream and be fully available to your body to use. So next up on this list is creatine. Creatine is like one of the most widely researched supplements on the planet. It has been around forever. It is safe. It is effective. Of course, they have all these designer different creatines. You don't need that. All you need is just plain Jane creatine monohydrate. It has to saturate the muscles. Now, keep in mind, guys, you can get every ingredient in all of these supplements from Whole Foods. Supplements are only meant to do just that. Supplement your nutrition plan. Supplement what you are eating to replace something that you are missing in your nutrition. Now, on past that, you get into your, creatine is a performance-based supplement. Then past that, you get into your pre-workouts, your testosterone boosters and all that. If you want to talk about that, that is on a whole other list because we're just talking about the basics here. So one more time, they are not sexy, but the most important.
Multivitamin and fish oil.
Those are the foundation. If you want to build a house, you need a strong foundation. The foundation should be the highest quality multivitamin and fish oil that you can find. Next on that list is your post-workout. What is your post-workout strategy? What supplement are you using post-workout? You need a fast-digesting protein source, 100% whey isolate protein, and a fast-digesting carb source. Number 3 on that list of importance, having a meal replacement protein shake on hand for in case you cannot eat. Then we move on to creatine. Everybody knows about the creatine. You got anything to add there, Brandi, before we move on?
Oh, and I strongly suggest a post-workout.
Yes.
Because normally I get DOMS super, super bad.
Post-workout
delayed onset muscle soreness.
It's all about recovery.
I'm still not, and I thought it was probably because I hadn't worked out very hard on my leg day and I wasn't sore. And I think it was from the post-workout.
You get post-workout.
I'm tender, but I'm not hurting.
If you get your post-workout nutrition, your supplementation correct, you will have less soreness, faster recovery. Less soreness, faster recovery equals you can get back in the gym and train harder, faster. Equals faster results. So moving on to training, because we are getting long-winded here. We will definitely have to cut some of this out. Training basics. Now, guys, you could take any program that you find out of a magazine, out of a book, but let me tell you something. You're going to have to individualize that training to your goals. What style of training do you need for your goal? The most critical portion of any training program is, will you do it? Will you stick to it? And will you go hard? Will you give it your everything, every effort? Will you take it to the max on whatever training that you are doing? Me personally, I highly recommend that you consider some sort of resistance training, and it needs to be intense. What I mean by intense, you need to be going hard. As close to failure as possible. You do not always have to train to failure, but you need to be close. You cannot be lifting and stop at 8, but you could have done 20. You're not lifting heavy enough. Not even close.
Nope.
The last 2 to 3 reps that you need to be everything that you can do. Everything you can muster safely, of course.
Unless you feel like you have to work on Phorm, like me, on some things.
But even
and
at
then
that,
stay there.
There's a lot of argument whether high reps, low reps.
No, I'm talking about if you're having issues with Phorm, don't make sure you get your Phorm first.
Right, you have to have good
trying
Phorm.
To be Hercules. Exactly,
but one point I think always gets missed when everybody starts talking about whether they should train with high volume, high reps, low reps. Even the people who are training with high reps, the key factor there is near or failure. even if they're doing 20 reps. The key factor that everybody misses talking about is even if you are doing 20 to 25 reps, those last 2 or 3 reps need to get you as close to failure or failure.
They need to be hard.
That is always going to be the key factor.
Hard.
That is always going to be the key factor. Some sort of resistance training, a minimum of 3 times a week, using cardio as a tool. Cardio is not the way. If you need help developing
It's a
training
supplement.
That's right. Cardio is a supplement to your weight
You like that,
training. That's great. That's awesome. So guys, we have workouts posted in our Facebook groups that we have designed for people. Now you can certainly use those and get results. Now keep in mind, you will have to individualize those. You will have to adjust those.
Have to stick with it.
That is always going to be a huge thing. The one thing that I have the hardest time getting across is, people hear about shock the muscle. Well, there's some truth to that, but you have to stick with a program long enough to give it time, give your body time to produce results. You cannot start changing up your program every 2 weeks.
No.
That just doesn't work. You have to give your body time to go in the direction that you are trying to encourage it to go. You have to overload, you have to overreach, and cause your body to adapt. Everything with your muscles is just like getting a sunburn and then that tan that comes on. You go out, you go to work, and you build up calluses. How does that happen? Progressively over time, your body has to adapt to the forces that are being applied to it. So it builds calluses. Building muscle is the same thing. You have to apply a stress, a stimulus, and it has to be increasing stress and stimulus over time. Consistency over time is the key. Consistently working out to your greatest potential is the key here. And the one thing we are always going to try to get across to everybody, anchor yourself in muscle. That name did not come from the fact that I work offshore. That name came from the fact that one of the few things that cannot be debated.
Muscles burn more calories.
Muscles burn calories. That's right. The muscle that you have on your body right now and the muscle that you build burn calories 24 hours a day at a rate of 70%. Your muscles require 70% of all of the energy that you take in on a 24-hour-a-day basis. Muscle is the way. So we're getting a little bit long here, guys. We're going to throw out a few shout outs here. Shout out to Facebook groups, Towboating Addiction. Those guys have been super supportive, sharing our posts, sharing our blogs. Shout out to Towboater Families. Shout out to Facebook group Tug Boating. The Anchored in Muscle crew, those guys are doing good in our transformation challenge. Shout out to, our first member who is really interacting with us, Ryan Nave. What's up, Ryan? Hank Flippo, Hank crushed it. Hank has lost the most weight, made the biggest transformation of anybody that we have worked with. I'm talking about one-on-one directly. Mm-hmm. And the one thing I keep getting across to everybody about Hank, he put in the work and he stayed in contact with us. Now, guys, if you really want us to help you, the more you stay in contact with us, the more feedback we get from you, the more you communicate with us, the better we can help you make adjustments to your nutrition, to your training, teach you about recovery, and help you out with motivation. That is going to be key to making such a huge transformation like Hank did. Shout out to Hank. Shout out to Sean McChesney, been a huge supporter of ours. Shout out to Antonio Paz. Brandi, you want to close this out by letting everybody know all of our contacts, where they can find us, where they can shoot us a message, and how can they support our channel and what we're doing.
Yeah, you can shoot us a message at anchoredinmuscle@gmail.com. You can find Jason on Instagram at muscle_captain_Jason Buckner. Also visit our Facebook fan page, Anchored in Muscle, to You can message us there, talk to some of the other people on there, little support system for you.
Those pages are meant to be interactive, guys. If you want to post something there, we have made it available. We have set the settings where you can make posts there too. Now, don't post no crazy ass shit. Don't come in there and be
Don't be
hating.
negative.
Don't be negative. Don't be trying to start no shit, no arguments and shit like that. I will block your ass and kick you to the curb in a heartbeat if you come in there starting any shit. We are a positive movement here.
I don't play that. And also visit our website, anchoredinmuscle.com. We have blog posts on there. Speaking of, we need to work on one. We're behind on the blogs because we're trying to get this going. That'll link you directly to First Phorm products.
You can find First Phorm products that do support what we do.
Our podcast is on there.
Podcast is also available on iTunes, Google Play, Stitcher Radio, and Libsyn. That's all of them, babe. That's all of them. iTunes,
I've done
Google
so much
Play.
Trying to do all that.
This is all new to us, guys.
Hardly anymore.
We are steadily trying to improve. So right before I want to close this out with something that I really want to get into, guys. Everybody has to start somewhere, right? Oh, I have been studying
what do you have?
all of my life, and I know a lot of people will be like, who the fuck does this guy think he is? Well, look, buddy.
Jason motherfucking Buckner.
I've been studying this shit all of my life. I've read a shit ton of books. I've listened to a shit ton of podcasts,
he is constantly
seminars,
researching and studying
seminars. So another thing is I always want to bring them a resource. So we're going to get into taking quotes out of books and things like this. And the people that I read are world renowned coaches. And I just wanted to read
the Green Book.
This is the Green Book. We're not telling them what it is just yet. I want to take a passage from this book. This is a book written by Chris Aceto, world-renowned coach to Jay Cutler, 4-time Mr. Olympia. I just wanted to take a passage out of this, and this really kind of goes along with our theme that we were talking about at the start of the podcast with Brandi and the ladies and the challenges here. So just real quick, straight out of this book, the real way to change the body, to lose fat and to keep it off, and the sole way to radically increase your metabolism is to make weight training the primary mode of exercise, coupled with a nutrition plan that inhibits fat storage. Adding muscle mass bumps up the metabolic rate, something aerobic exercise cannot do.
Bam.
Muscle trumps all. If you want to lose fat, you want to look better, you want to feel better, build muscle. Find whatever kind of resistance training that you like the best and do that. Wait a minute. You know what? Before we go here, we had another question. I forgot. We did get a question in through Facebook from Kenny.
Oh, yeah.
He was asking about what, if he's on the relief watch, what would be the right time, the best time to work out? Now, look, Kenny, I don't know if you heard the full episode, first episode, but the one thing that I never hear anybody talking about on YouTube or their podcast is it depends. It depends on your goal. It depends on what works best for your life and your schedule. Now, I will sit here and tell you that, in my opinion, the best time for you to train is whatever your day is, because we all consider one watch or the other our main day, the main portion of our day. What is your evening? I would suggest that you weight train on whatever watch it has you in what you consider your evening. Like me, if I'm on day shift, that would be after I get off work about 5:30. When I get home about 5:30, 6 o'clock, that is my evening. That is whenever my testosterone levels are going to be the highest. That's where I'm going to get the best performance in my weight training. Now there may be some reason why you really don't want to train at that time. May be beneficial for you to train early when you get up, but consider this also. The best performance in the gym is going to drive the best results. The best performance in the gym is going to be based off of your food. You want to have several meals in you. So then, of course, you come back to whatever you consider after your longest watch, whatever you consider your evening would be the optimal time, in my opinion, for your weight training. At the end of the day, the best time for you is whatever time you can stick to and get the best performance. So I hope I've answered your question, Kenny. Again, my opinion, whatever your evening is, after your longest watch, when you've had the most meals to drive the best performance. We got to get out of here, guys. I hope you've enjoyed it. We'll try to get this thing edited, cut, and with the music. We got to get out of here, guys. I got to go. I got to go on night shift tonight. You were hungry. I'm hungry. Both of our stomachs have been going crazy.
I'm at my 4-hour mark.
You're at your 4-hour cutoff, your 4-hour window. Guys, I got to get out of here. I got to go on night shift here in a couple hours. You ready for me to be on night shift? Because next week I'm off. All right, guys, we're getting out of here. We've talked way too long, but I've had a hell of a good time. Later.